So we read through the top part. And we got the idea that in these letters themselves, something intrinsic in each of the letters that has qualities, that is of Yud and K, that have qualities of each other. I guess that's the right way to say it. Reading over here, let's start at number Tes. Up above, it's a little bit longer, but just to get us a run up into number Yud Aleph, which we want to do down below. So the Chain, he says, Afal Gab da Os He Rishon da Rabavayev Shal Yisrael Savat Vuna, the Fredis Mina Os Yud Shal Abba Ve'imar Eloyin. So now he's putting labels on all of these so we can understand how the different names work. V'na'asis Os He B'fnei Atzba, it's an independent letter. Behind the Kedei Learn Moshe Yisrael Savat Vuna, Ein Lechem Zivug Tomid, they don't have a continuous yichud. Kamo Abba Ve'imar Eloyin, like Abba Ve'imar Eloyin. Amnam B'kol Zos Hinei Yisrael Savat Mechuber Tomid B'Tevuna, but nonetheless they're always together, they're always attached. But this is the secret of the Oketz B'Suras Yud. This is this little tip on the right corner, which he explained, of the Hey Shebekeren Zavis Yamin Shal Os Hekana. He says, Ki Abba Ofen She'ein Zivug the Yisrael Sabat Tevuna, said even in a way that there's no yichud that takes place in Yisrael Sabat Tevuna. Him calls it's not yichud. Him calls it Bechem Nechlalim Yachad Zebezev, so they're always though together anyway. Now this is a little chiddush, or maybe something that needed to be known, and I really understand this. He says, Him Nechlalim Yachad Zebezev, so then they're really still though Mechuber. So therefore they're always eternally attached, even though they're not eternally in yichud. Now going down to, let me see, I make a little bit more room for myself. How does this work? All right, let's look down here, way down. Just a technical difficulty here. Way down at the bottom on number Yud Aleph, it says Rei b'Mabasharim. Now, the Mabasharim should have a nice pirush, like some other things. There's lots of things in there. He says Zivad de Yisrael Saba, that Yisrael Tevuna Enu Tader. That's our idea. Kashaim Shehi Adevuna. So when the female aspect, which is Tevuna, called Tevuna, Rovetzes ala Frochim, when she's squatting down on the hatchlings, that this, just let me get a little closer to me, I just can't read it. So he says, as mispashtim, the nai didah, or that the nai of the ima spreads out into Zer Anpin Bisman Hayanika during that stage. As any yichol his davig, she can't make a yichud at that time. Why? Because the yisod of her yisod is clothed inside of Zer Anpin. So therefore, since there's no possibility of a yichud. Now, I'm not sure what the implication of that is. He says because she's inside a Zer Anpin. Well, let's say she was outside a Zer Anpin. So it's outside the Zer Anpin, which would be yichud of Abba Ve'ima Eloyin. I guess, that's a higher level. So she's the one that goes inside, and inside there's no yichud there. So therefore it's considered that this is different than the yud. She's different. She's separated from him. And the asis oath of the asma shehi hey rishona shebashem. Now, offhand, I don't really think that I understand this very well, because I don't understand the mechanism by which the zivug is supposed to take place, which take place at Abba Ve'ima Eloyin, which do not go directly into Zer Anpin. So that means it must take place prior to the entry into Zer Anpin, whereas Yisrael Sab and Tevuna go into Zer Anpin. But nonetheless, they're still riding together. I guess it's what he wants to say. They're still going together. He's still inside. That is the male aspect. That Yisrael Sab is still inside of Tevuna. But he says that. So from this we conclude that it's separate. Why? Because the actions are different. There's no yichud, so therefore it's not the same thing as Abba Ve'im Eloi, which is that yud up above, which was a yud, and then above Dalet, he start talking like that. But not just os mifnei atzma, so it makes a letter a separate letter by itself. Which is what letter? She is the Hey Rishona Shebashem. But Amnam Gam Bechinas Yisrael Savas, so the male aspect. Hoya Tafel Alechi, he was really subservient to her. V'nischaber and joins together with V'nislavish Tocha Tavuna and is clothed inside of Tavuna, as we know. Kadesh Yakonsa Ragle Shnechem Tocha Zer Anpin can notice that both of their legs, so to speak, can enter into Zer Anpin. Nimsiki Oz Edo Besod Zivu, but that situation, explain a little bit better. He says it's not really going on to the secret of the secret of yichud. There's no yichud taking place there. But no, so that's maybe this is the description that we understand of mechuber means. He's still inside of her. And that whole concept is merumas in the uketz of the hey kenaidim. And then it becomes, actually, it's a part of the body of the hay itself. This is to let you say that Abba's inside of Ima, but he's barely seen. But the main part of the letter hay itself is the concept, or the parts of which is called tavuna. Where do we know that where does she revealed? As she's inside of Zer Anpin, she's on the outside. But he's clothed inside of her, and he's sealed up there. He doesn't show himself at all. But so, hey, this is, excuse me, that's not a hey, that's a yud. So like the yud that we said is a part of the hey. Vadkan. So, interesting. Became Ray B'Pri Eitz Chaim. So look over there at the Pri Eitz Chaim. He says that's in Sharat Tefillin. Interesting. He says Rebbeir Talmud and Ba'olas Talmud. Also that's Sefer Ayin Sham. V'gam B'Rei Gam B'Idra Zuta. So look over there. So V'Hani Av V'Aim. I think that's Hani Av V'Aim. He says that. They're incorporated in, they join together one with the other. Over beer behind the rakach, over there you see it. Hani av v'aim, these two, this av v'aim, she'osa b'dabra b'chem, she'noistim mochin nezah. So we're saying that they bring mochin into zah. Now so we have to hold here, get this rabbi back. Here it comes. Okay, you're there, Rabbi? We got you there?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so he says, so let's go back to the word Haniv Ava'im. So they had this phrase, Ava'im, that's the aspect of male-female parents that actually put the mochin to the zav. Let's understand that. It's not talking about Abba V'im Eloim, which is the Yud. Elachim Yisrael Sabat Devuna. Heim Kolilim is Chavrim Da B'da, so they're incorporated in each other, still matched up, they're one inside the other still. But this Chibur, which is their natural state also, that he's inside of her, is not Yelashon Zivu. Elahu his lavshus levad, but it's just clothing. He's clothed within levad kamasha kasser Rebbeinu Zal and Mavasharim. Okay, let's look. There's a little bit more on this, and let's see if I can get that going here. It says, so he says, V'hine bezechet v'yuvun lama neket kan ha-sifra tznius rak inyan hibuk. Why did the Sifra the tzniuta just choose the word? He says, they choose the word hibuk. Kamosha ambacha de mishabkan, like they're hugging. So he's really, this word hugging now, used in this context, is really, one hugs one that they cherish. And that's still going on. V'lamado neked zivu. Shahara Abba ve'Iba Rabbi Yesh Lachem Zivug Tadiri, because they have a continuous yichud, which is up and down, all the way, complete in total involvement with each other. Amna me'inyan, but the Inyan of the Sifra Tzniuta, I Rekan, Gamba Bechidas Yisrael Sabat Tavuna, but we want to let you know that there's a difference between the two. And it's talking about Yisrael Sabat Tavuna, but Inyan is Kalvus Yud Be'eh, which is the concept of bringing the Yud into the Hey, to incorporate it into the Hey. So once again, it's like inside, it says Lashon inside. V'chalo Yisrael Sabat Tavuna, Ein Lechem Zivug Tadiri, but they're not constantly in a state of Yichud. Neket kam chibuk, so therefore that's why we use that word. Ki his chalalos chiber shav yisol savatavuna no nipsak odem kid is b'mabusharim, like the mabusharim. That is also an eternal way in which they are mated, are put together, not mated. V'inyan the chibuk, that's the idea of hugging. So he says shelo nipsak lo'olam kanal, that is never should be interrupted. So he says like this: there's a Zahara over there. He says you could see that over there. So this is according to the Mabusharim and the Pri Eitz Chaim. All of these things, people are saying this. That's what they understand. The Amra ve'ima zivugam tadiri. So excuse me, Ava ve'ima. They have a continuous zivug. Ve'ela Rabbi Yisrael Sabat Tavuna and zivugam tadiri. Now he's not talking about when, in fact, do they have a yichud, but he says they don't have a yichud, a perpetual yichud. So now you're going to have all kinds of different ideas on this. Ray B'Shem and Sason, so they're going to want to get into over that. Now, so that brings us out of that stage, and then over here, like we have 2 minutes, according to my calculations, to look at the, I'm in the wrong place, to look at page Taf Kufayin Test. And he says, Achsa, now, so right away we get into this question of Achsa, Abba ve'ima, Moldas, Yisrael Sabat Tavuna. Now, so, why did the Rashbi choose these words? So there's a question. Achsa, okay, they're spelling with an aleph at the end. So it sounds like Acholsa, like his sister. So then he says Abba ve'ima, that's Abba ve'ima, the Abba ve'ima Eloyin. And Modata, it refers to Yisrael Sabat Tavuna. So he says, let's see if we can get this in the minute we got here. He says, Rei b'bir b'shulda sheniz boyer al piyah mefarshim. The achsach v'mdata em Abba ve'ima. Okay? It says like this, so now you say that you are my sister. So Mina would go with that. So just going through this little idea that we had a little bit before. The Ramak, let's with the Ramak, the Shachatam Shanikras Achsar Madata. He's Zehum Belashon Achva, which is, to me now, that means brotherhood, v'kurba, and being related. I said that's what kurba means. Maybe you got a better word. So now it's coming to teach us that Abba ve'ima are incorporated one with the other Talmud. That's it. Okay, we ran out of time for this session, so we're going to stop it right here. And we'll be back for another half.